Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem HaKadosh. All praises to the world calls God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem meaning in the name of Yahushai, being the name of the only begotten Son. I also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect preaching this word in truth and sincerity. On the brother talks about the Great Millstone, Arizona, Camp Laurel Wood with another video to edify. And I'm gonna go into this article you see on the screen. It says new book reveals how the U.S. stole $600 billion from so-called Black Americans through unfair taxes post-slavery. And this is just how Esau gets down. Right? The scriptures tell you, John. Let's get it, man. Actually, John 10:10, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I'm come that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly. Right? And this devil's been a thief. And you're seeing him all the many ways in which he's been able to sit here and make his wealth through what? Robbery. Right? There's a scripture on that. Yeah, Proverbs 21:7, the robbery of the wicked shall destroy them because they refuse to do judgment. No, that's not that one. This might be a better one. No, here it is. It says, Nahum 3:1, it says, woe to the bloody city, it is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departed not. And America has been a bloody city, full of lies, full of robbery. And Jake has been constantly the prey and been preyed on through law, physically preyed on, right? Through policing, financially preyed on through policy. Like the scriptures say, we shall only be oppressed continually, right? Now it says a new book is set to unravel how the U.S. stole $600 billion from so-called Black Americans. Andrew K. Crowell, professor of history and African American Studies at the University of Virginia, put extensive research in his new book, which describes how the U.S. bureaucracy created the nation's ongoing racial wealth gap by implementing a system of highly unjust municipal and state taxes. Bloomberg reported the black tax, 150 years of theft, exploitation, and dispossession in America shares statistics, studies, and tells of the Black Americans being cheated out of land ownership and pushed into poverty by racist laws and practices dating back to the Jim Crow era. The history sheds new light on the forces generating economic inequality in America and the racial character of those inequities. And now the cool part about it is they'll point out the law. They'll point at America, but they won't point at the people who ran this place. Right? These laws didn't pop out of fucking nowhere. These municipal ordinances didn't pop up out of nowhere. They came from a certain people. And it's a so-called white man whose biblical identity is Esau Edom. Now I'm going to jump down in this. It says, I'm going to jump down. It says, starting in the 19th and 20th, starting in the late 19th and early 20th century, unfair tactics were used to doubly disadvantage black landowners by artificially inflating property value estimates, which they do now, for tax collection overcharging them for their land and exploiting their inability to pay as a means to seize their properties. So they inflated the land taxes, they inflated the property taxes, just so they can sit here and be like, "Oh, you can't pay? Well, we're gonna take your house." Right? Well, that's in the scriptures. This is Micah 2, and I'll start at 2. I'll start at 1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds." Right? And Esau, obviously, when you listen to this article, right, and you read and you really delve into it, you see that Esau, this is just his device. The law, ordinances, all this stuff, this is just a device of the wicked, man. This is a weak man's war, right? Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. And so they oppress a man and his house, even a man in his heritage. And that's exactly what this is described. Inflating property values. So you have to pay more for property taxes, right? To be able to seize the land. And then what it is in this paragraph right here, it says the book pairs personal stories with rich details about municipalities nationwide that use complex tax collection to fund distribution to white land and property owners in the economic dynamic spanning over a century of U.S. history. So they used that when they sat there and they robbed Jake of their land through taxes, right? And inflated things. What did they do? They gave it to Esau. They gave it to the wicked. So this is what Esau's done, man. This is what he's done. He's done it consistently. It was always his MO. Now, and this is what the scriptures say right here. Sirach 10 and 8, it says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. You see, everything that this devil's done has given him the future judgment that he's going to receive. All right, and this is man. This article is whitewash in comparison to the true depravity of the situation of how Esau was doing it. This thing is a nursery rhyme compared to the extent of which he was doing. Because nobody wants to admit these Edomites, and the Jake that if this dude is a Andrew W. Crowell is a so-called Negro. Right? He knows how much he can actually put in that book. He knows how much he can actually sit here and say bluntly. And they're not touching on the full extent of how wicked and depraved this devil's been to be able to get this shit going. Right? Now, like I was reading, it says because of unrighteous dealings and injuries and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, because all these things have brought him to the Lord for his destruction, right? And everything that he's been able to get, right? Let me get this restitution. Job. Um, 20 and 12, it says, though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat and his bowels is turned. It is the gall of ass within him. He hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. He shall, it says, he shall suck the poison of ass, the viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter, right? So he's done all these violent things, right? The Lord's telling you, though he's gotten all this wealth, he's not going to sit there and rest and be easy. The Lord said, what? He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. He's not going to be in the promised land. He's not going to be in that wealthy estate that comes with making it to the kingdom, right? Since that which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall rejoice. It says, and he shall not rejoice therein. So according to his substance shall the restitution be. Everything that this devil's got, everything he's stolen, right? Down to the souls which he took that were not his, right? He's going to restore it all. He's going to restore it all. And when the Lord comes, that's who's going to even the books. Right? The Lord willing is to edify them. I'm going to say, call halal Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. That's call halal Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Rakakadah Shalom.